Project Mercury was initiated in 1958, completed in 1963, with 20 unmanned missions and 6 manned missions. Alan Shepard was on the first Mercury flight. He was also the first American in space who flew Freedom 7. He had a 15-minute flight and later walked on the moon in Apollo 14 mission. Gus Grissom was the second astronaut to fly in Project Mercury. He also flew in Liberty Bell 7. John Glenn was the third astronaut in Project Mercury. He also was the first American to orbit the Earth in 1962. Scott Carpenter was the second American to orbit the Earth. He also flew Aurora 7. Walter Schirra flew Sigma 7. Gordon Cooper was another astronaut on Mercury mission. He spent 34 hours circling Earth and flew Faith 7. Deke Slayton had a health problem which stopped him from flying for mission Mercury. He flew into space in 1975 on a different mission. First goal in Project Mercury was to orbit a manned spacecraft around Earth. The second goal in Project Mercury was to investigate man's ability to function in space. The third goal for Project Mercury was to recover both man and spacecraft safely. Project Mercury costed $1.73 billion to fund. The first mission in Project Mercury was Redstone 3. Alan B. Shepard Jr. flew spacecraft Freedom 7 on May 5, 1961, with a 15-minute, 28-second suborbital flight that successfully put the first American in space. The second mission in Project Mercury was Redstone 4. Virgil Grissom flew the Liberty Bell 7 July 21, 1961, with a 15-minute, 37-second successful suborbital flight, but the spacecraft sank shortly after splashdown. The third mission in Project Mercury was Atlas 6. John Glenn Jr. flew Friendship 7 February 20, 1962, with a 3-orbital flight that placed the first American in orbit. The fourth mission of Project Mercury was Atlas 7. Scott M. Carpenter flew Aurora 7 May 24, 1962, duplicating the flight of Atlas 6 and confirmed success of Project Mercury. The fifth mission of Project Mercury was Atlas 8. Walter Schirra flew Sigma 7 October 3, 1962, with a 6-orbit engineering test flight that lasted 9 hours, 13 minutes, and 11 seconds. The last mission for Project Mercury was Atlas 9. Gordon Cooper flew Faith 7 on May 15 through the 16th in 1963. He had a 34-hour, 19-minute, 49-second flight, which completed 22 orbits to evaluate the effects of the body with 1 day in space. Sam the Monkey flew in a Mercury capsule. Ham and Enos, the 2 chimpanzees, also flew in Mercury capsules. Project Mercury was important because NASA learned how to put people in orbit. It was also important because NASA learned how people could live and work in space. Project Mercury was also important because it taught astronauts how to fly a spacecraft.